How can we have holistic wellness this year? That's the topic we're going to be addressing today on Flourish-Meant. I'm your host, Tina Yeager, and today I have a special new guest, Dr. Jackie McKool. She specialized in the diagnosis and treatment of internal disorders. She worked in various natural health capacities for over 20 years. Doctoring, she's speaking, she's writing, and she's teaching. This is her new specialty, holistic health and wellness. Welcome, Dr. McKool. I'm so happy to have you on Flourish-Meant today, and I can't wait to dive into this topic.
Thank you, Tina. I'm so glad to be here. I love being able to continue to spread the message of the truth about health and wellness and encourage God's kingdom.
Tell the audience what makes you so passionate about holistic wellness. You mentioned that you have a faith in Christ, and sometimes there's a little skepticism about that in the people of faith. So I would love to hear you reveal how you came to this place of really deciding this is the type of healing and health and medical wellness that you want to specialize in.
28 years almost now, March 6th, 1996, God delivered me from an addiction to alcohol and the whole bar life and everything that goes along with that. Of 20 years, I spent 20 years of my life in the bars. And I was just so thoroughly disgusted with my life. I was not walking with him. I was brought up a Christian, but really was not going to church for all that time, of course. I believed in Jesus Christ, but I did not have a personal relationship with him, but he still delivered me. And I know it's him because I tried doing it over and over many times before that. But one morning I woke up and just never had another drink or a cigarette ever again. Of course, it was a journey. It wasn't like my life turned into this perfect person. We won't have that until we reach eternity, but he put my feet on a path of holistic health and wellness right then and there. That's when the seed was planted in my heart. I thought it was my own philosophy of holistic wellness, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual health, only to realize that no, I didn't create that. I think I was reading self-help books that other friends had given me, but that's where the seed was planted. And I was shooting pool in a women's pool league in a bar when he delivered me. I continued my commitment to my team and would go and shoot my game of pool and then leave. But there was a gal on my pool team, believe it or not, in this bar that said she was going to a women's retreat in a couple weeks. And the Lord already had my feet on this cleanup path. I started changing my eating, started going to the gym, got some family counseling for myself, was looking to make career change in this newfound path that he had me on. And when she said she was going to this retreat, I was like, yeah, I'll take that too. That's just another piece that adds to the whole holistic health. And I was brought up Catholic. And so to me, a retreat was peace and tranquility and monks and no talking. And that's a great retreat. But this was a Methodist church and it was a women's retreat that I went to. And there were so many testimonies from these ladies at that retreat, women that had been in prison and prostitution and abortion and addictions, all those kind of things, and they had been delivered. And it was just like, wow, this is amazing. I just think testimonies are awesome. They're just extremely powerful. And so I went and took a career assessment course because I didn't know what kind of career would allow me this holistic path. I was in the real estate field at the time, and I called on Dale Carnegie Institute. We had an assignment to interview somebody in the field of expertise that we were interested in. And I knew of their motivational stuff. And I thought, okay, well, this is what I want, like motivational psychology. I want to encourage people. And I interviewed this fella and he said, well, what would you speak about? I'm like, I don't know. I thought you would tell me that part. I'd just get out there and do it for you. Even then, I knew that I wanted to be speaking and public speaking. And he said, well, you need a field of expertise. And I was like, all righty then, plan B, because my only expertise was the bar rooms at that point. And so it's like, that won't work. And I'm going to the gym. I met a chiropractor there. He kept encouraging me to become a chiropractor. I was like, no, that's just too narrow. That just addresses the physical. I want to help people mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. By this point, I'm a new baby Christian. I'm keeping a prayer journal. I encourage anybody to do that, whether you're right or not, just it's just you. So just write it down or type it out is what I do now. But I was able to go back and look and see how quickly he answered those prayers and so specifically. And I remember brushing my teeth one morning thinking, why not chiropractic? Who knows what doors it'll open for me, and I can incorporate whatever I want into my practice. And that began the physical part of my journey for me. But I knew that chiropractic for me was just a passing through point. Chiropractic is an awesome profession, and I still get my spine checked every 2 weeks. And I highly encourage everyone to do that. But for me, that was just a piece that I needed. And it has just been an awesome journey. I practiced for 10 years in Charleston, South Carolina. I was then working in the natural health food industry and health food store, and I loved it. I was educating and encouraging the customers all day long. It was like my favorite job, even over chiropractic or anything. I just love doing that. And I love seeing the light bulb of hope go on in people's eyes when they realize there's a whole nother way out there rather than just managing disease. And that's what my message is about what true holistic health and wellness is. Most people really don't understand what that is. And I want to encourage people. There's nothing wrong with the going the conventional medical route if that's your choice and decide to do that. Most of the time we're probably managing disease in that arena because that's what they're trained to do. But there's another way of restoring the body back to good health. And as the body of Christ, we especially need to be the walking example of that. I have this vision of not seeing one person on a prayer list because of some kind of health condition in the church. It's like, let's do away with that. We're healed and we're healthy. Christ took that to the cross already for us.
What a tremendous testimony. And it's incredibly rare for somebody to be just instantly delivered from an addiction. Usually that takes a process, it takes time, it's a long journey, there's setbacks. So for those of you who are listening that may be experiencing some setbacks, we want to make sure you don't experience any sense of shame over you're still on that journey of recovery. But I do want to say that God delivers us, just as you said in your testimony and in your passion, not just from something, but to something.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you are focusing on people's delivered to message.
Yes.
You're focusing on the wellness that God has for us. That is something that no matter how many setbacks you've experienced, you can still put before you. So I want to focus on that for a minute. Can you talk about the difference between the disease model, what we're being delivered from, and the wellness model of what we're being delivered for?
Yes. So a couple things. In this whole journey after I left the chiropractic field and even the health food store, and that's a whole nother story of how God had blessed me financially that I was able to do that. But I worked for a women's ministry that was addiction recovery, and they were quite holistic as well. So even in that recovery process, it is probably even more vital that somebody in recovery understand the holistic. Our food, for example, sugars are in a very addictive food, and we don't need that to be triggering our recovery. So it's not just about, it walking out recovery, but again, of course it's spiritual as well. We need our spiritual health for it. I don't know how somebody could do it without God's hand upon our lives. That's who is actually doing it. It's not us that are doing it. We cannot deliver ourselves from anything. It's God that's delivering that. But in that holistic journey, by mental health, I mean things like time management, budget, career, goal setting, our purpose in life. Tina, every single one of us, no matter where we are in this path in life right now, every single one of us have a unique divine purpose and reason for being here on this earth. Whether it be a janitor at a school and just enjoying his journey of keeping that school clean for the students. I do volunteer work at the state park here, picking up litter. And to me, it's just keeping God's creation clean. That's not my purpose, but it's something that I do. And so we're serving a purpose. We have a purpose, every single one of us, whether we know what it is right now or not. If you don't know what it is, reach out to God and ask him. He will tell you. He will tell you. Our work isn't necessarily our purpose. We might have to work to earn an income, but I love Abraham Hamilton on the American Family Radio. He talks about, he says, now you're leaving your daytime job and coming to your full-time job, your home, your family, your mom, you're a dad, whatever it is. That might be your purpose right now this season in life, and don't belittle that either. So we have a unique divine purpose. If we don't know why we're getting out of bed in the morning, what do we care if we're healthy or not? The physical side, which is where my primary field of expertise is in the physical health, we want to get to the root cause of the problem and then restore the body back to good health using natural approaches. Being delivered from, we might have a disease or a health condition or whatever it is, but our health is in our control, much more than just waiting for something to happen to us and then taking drugs and surgery to address the symptoms. We can take more authority with our health. God has created our bodies beautifully, and every single little cell in the body has a purpose as well. And we want to address that health and restore the body back to good health. Probably most of us listening, if not all of us, do not. In fact, none of us are 100% perfect. Only God is perfect. And so we all have a place to move, progress towards. If we don't take authority with our health and responsibility with it, then our health is going to take charge of us and our bodies, and it's going to end up being disease. We can slow that process down. Yes, we're all going to die someday unless Jesus comes back first. But I love Kenneth Hagin used to say that he just was going to go home, and that's what he did. He just died in his sleep one day. He just lived in glory while he was here on earth, fulfilled his purpose, and then we die in our sleep. That would be my desire, right? But we need to take charge of our health. We can't just let it happen to us, or we will just be managing disease. But I want people to know that they have an option. And there's a big difference if we want to take holistic charge of our health, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, and it's all connected and interrelated. Where's the root lie? We might have a physical health condition, but the root might not be in the physical arena. Maybe we have unforgiveness on our heart. We need to address those things in order to see great progress in our physical health.
So, in the second half of our conversation, I do want to get into more of how we can do some practical things to get
Mhm.
at that root cause. But for now, I would love for you to list how people can stay connected with you and get a copy of your new book.
Probably the best place to stay connected with me is go to my website, Jackie, Jackie, McKool, McKool.com. My book is on there. It's also on Amazon. Either place will get you to the same place. I have my blogs listed there that I write weekly. That would be a great way to stay connected. You can also sign up for my newsletter that goes out once a month. I'm also on Facebook, Dr. Jackie McKool on Facebook. It's called The Truth About Wellness, but you need to put my name in for the Facebook component of it. But that would be a great way to stay in touch and keep your eyes and ears open. I'm working on putting a learning package together with a book, and I have a workbook also that accompanies the book that small groups or churches or even book studies can use together. So the workbook and the book, and it's called Are You Being Deceived About True Wellness?
I hope that all of you listening were inspired and encouraged to take authority over all the areas of your health and begin to explore how you can use your faith to develop a holistic wellness approach for yourself so you can be your best you this year. And I hope that you will all subscribe and come back for the next episode of Flourishment.